Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 163 of Cameron's Post Podcast. It's your host here, Cameron Lindsay. I'm back with another brand new episode. Today's episode, we'll make my Wrestlemania 42 predictions for this Saturday and Sunday, night 1 and night 2. Like I said, for my WWE fans, like myself, this is one of my favorite times of the year. Outside, the Super Bowl, NBA Finals, stuff like that. Like WrestleMania is basically like the Super Bowl, and for the WWE. And yeah, it's gonna be, like I said, on ESPN app. The first hour on ESPN2 is gonna be free. So if you want to watch at least first hour of it Saturday and Sunday, you will be able to on ESPN2. Or like I said, if you want the ESPN plan, that I think is like about $29.99 a month. You can watch it on there, the full pay-per-view for both nights. And yeah, let's get right into it. Make my predictions for starting with Saturday night. Start with the opening match for Saturday, the 6-man tag team match between Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, the former World Tag Team Champions, and LA Knight, taking on the current and new World Tag Team Champions Logan Paul and Austin Theory with ISO Speed. Talking about this match, like I said, now, it would have been better to see the Usos defend the titles against Logan Paul and Austin Theory, but they ended up losing them on Raw a few weeks back. Due to the interference of ISO Speed, even though he didn't necessarily get involved in that match on purpose, but it's part of the storyline. Now, like I said, Logan Paul, Austin Theory division, like I said, has been giving the Usos, LA Knight real problems for months now. So I have no problem with that. And, what I'm saying? With celebrities who are not professional wrestlers getting involved, I necessarily don't have a problem with that. Like, ISO Speed is a very talented person. Like I said, social media star and everything, very athletic, fast. So I'm gonna be interested to see how he does in WWE. He's been involved in WWE actually before with the Royal Rumble. I think it was it wasn't this year. It was last year's Royal Rumble. He was involved in. So now thinking about this, who could win? Obviously I think I'm going with the Usos and LA Knight. I just don't really see Austin Theory and Logan Paul and ISO Speed getting the win. Actually, I could possibly see ISO Speed turning on the division and costing them the match, and maybe make up to the Usos. Let them know like, hey, it's a misunderstanding. But I think LA Knight's probably at the end of the match he's going to hit ISO Speed, probably with BFT, just like Stone Cold would do with a Stone Cold Stunner. So I got the Usos and LA Knight winning that match. Next up, and like I said, this is no order besides the opening match, the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way between Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus the Bella Twins, Nikki and Brie, Bayley and Lyra, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. Like I said, now I will say this is great to see the women's tag team titles getting the respect that they deserve. Over the years since they've been introduced, it really haven't been taken that seriously. It's like they pretty much play hot potato with the tag team titles. Like, this team may be champion for like maybe 20, 30 days, and then they'll pass it on. And I know last year they was defended, with Lyra and Becky. And I forgot who else was in that match. I gotta look it up. I literally forgot who. But picking the winner of this match, I mean, to be honest, you really, any of these teams possibly could. But to me, I feel like what makes the most sense is either possibly maybe the Bella Twins winning or Nia Jackson Lash Legend retaining. I'm going Nia Jackson Lash Legend. I just think on paper that team is very, very dominant. Like I said, they're the biggest superstars in this match, the powerhouses. I just feel like it makes more sense for them to retain. I don't want them to have a short reign and just drop the titles at WrestleMania. It makes no sense. But like I said, I'm not on the board of WWE. I can't make that call. So, but I'm going picking them to retain the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. Now this next one, now on paper, could be a WrestleMania main event. Now the only way some people probably maybe not be that all the way into it is because of the storyline, because Gunther inserted himself, maybe like about 2.5 weeks ago before WrestleMania this week. Now, granted, it was reported that Seth Rollins months ago was supposed to face Braun Breaker at WrestleMania, and Braun Breaker, is in a vision. Seth Rollins created the vision with Paul Heyman. He brought on Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, to basically, form a faction of people that's the present, past, and the future. And when Seth was World Heavyweight Champion, they ended up turning on him. He had to relinquish the title. Been gone for a couple months. Had to have surgery and everything. So, and then he started to come back. He came back maybe about a month or so ago. Started attacking the division, and all them pretty much went down with injuries. Bronson Reed is out. Braun Breaker is out. So it really, and Logan Paul and Austin Theory are more of a tag team. And it really wouldn't make no sense to face Austin Theory one-on-one at WrestleMania or Logan Paul, which he already did. I think like at WrestleMania, it was WrestleMania 39, I believe. Yeah, WrestleMania 39 when Seth Rollins went one-on-one with Logan Paul. So it really wouldn't make no sense to do that again, at least at this point. Now, like I said, him attacking Paul Heyman a few weeks in a row, and then Gunther comes out of nowhere and attacks Seth, puts him to sleep. Now, like I said, again on paper, like I said, perfectly fine. And Gunther said on Raw about Raw this weekend, a few weeks ago, that this is personal to him. That he's the reason that he is aligning himself with Paul Heyman, helping Paul Heyman solve his problem with Seth, is because he feels like Seth goes around saying he's the best professional wrestler in the ring, and Gunther feels like that's a lie. He want to expose him for a fraud. He says when he was World Heavyweight Champion, he ducked him. He didn't want no smoke with him at all. He was too busy running around being a goofy clown with Paul Heyman and the Vision. So he said that's why he said it's personal to him, because he feels like he's the best wrestler in the world. And like I said, Gunther has the past year or so he's been on fire. Like I said, he's retired Goldberg, Hall of Famer, retired my favorite WWE superstar, as you see on my shirt, John Cena the GOAT, retired AJ Styles, who's going in the Hall of Fame this Friday. So, I mean, you can make an argument Gunther right now could be the best wrestler in the world. Him, Cody Rhodes, Roman, CM Punk, a few names right there, Rhea Ripley. And you can say who's the best in the world right now. And like I said, as far as my prediction, and based off some reports that I'm hearing, like I said, regarding Braun Breaker, that he was cleared for WrestleMania this week, but the only reason that he's not in it, I think, is because they don't want to rush the storyline. That's one thing that's important in WWE. If you're not a WWE fan like myself, like I said, it's like even boxing and UFC, promoting a big fight, you want time to promote it, social media, press conference, weigh-ins. You want a little bit of time to promote that fight to increase ticket sales, viewerships, for people to watch either in person or on TV. You want time to promote that fight. And they feel like, all right, maybe it's not a good time to rush it. I think they're going to wait until after WrestleMania, give it a little bit more time to build it up. And I think with that led to my prediction. I think Gunther is going to win due to the fact I think Braun Breaker is going to come back at WrestleMania and cost Seth the match. Now, if he doesn't interfere, I'll be shocked. Who will win straight? Who would I have straight up? It'll be a close call then. If it's straight up, without no interference, I'll probably take more time. But I think due to the fact that Braun Breaker is going to get involved, I think Gunther is going to pick up the win over Seth Rollins. Next up, we have the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between the champion AJ Lee and the former champion, now challenger, Becky Lynch. This rivalry has been going on for months now, since I believe WrestlePalooza, then Survivor Series, and Elimination Chamber in their hometown of AJ and CM Punk's hometown of Chicago, Illinois. And granted, I originally thought this match was going to happen at WrestleMania, but they ended up doing it first at Elimination Chamber. AJ won. And I'm thinking, like, even then I was like, okay, they're going to do it. We can do it again at WrestleMania. They're going to have AJ win, and they're going to have a rematch at WrestleMania, and probably Becky's going to win that match because really, AJ's part-time champion. And, really as a WWE fan, a lot of other WWE fans, even on podcasts, say, they're not really big fans of part-time champions, meaning like they're not going to be on Raw or SmackDown every single week defending the title or be at every live event across the world. And so it depends. Like, I'll say, like, do I have a problem with it? Not necessarily. Now granted, like I said, I wouldn't want to see too many part-time champions. It's okay, like, to sprinkle it in here and there if the storyline is right. You can have matches with other superstars. The storyline's right, then okay, I don't mind a part-time champion, depending on who it is. Like John Cena John Cena, his retirement tour, he really wasn't part-time. He was there almost literally every date. I think every pay-per-view last year, up until he retired, he was there. He defended the title. He had matches. He was there. So, and I think with that being said, with part-time champions, with AJ Lee being there, I think Becky's going to win this because, like I said, I think she needs it more. Like I said, AJ has gotten the better of her the past times they faced one-on-one or in a tag team match with their husbands. I think Becky's going to win this match. I think it's going to be really, really, really good, but I think Becky's going to win and get back the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Like I said, I do look forward to watching this match Saturday. Next up, we got an unsanctioned match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. This has been going on months ago due to the fact that Jacob Fatu was put out of commission with, I think, broken jaw. It was like I said, nobody knew who attacked him, but I pretty much most of us had a pretty good clue that it could have been Drew. Some thought it could be Cody, which I started thinking, like, could it be Cody? Like, if it's Cody, it could be a real good heel turn. And then, like I said, when Drew became champion, Drew beat Cody for the title in that 3 Stages of Hell match in steel cage, and Cody lost the title. I'm thinking, like, okay, that could be the start of maybe a really good feud between those three, and maybe a triple threat match at WrestleMania. We thought it was gonna happen. That didn't, with Cody beat Drew for the title SmackDown a few months ago. And that leaves, like, okay, Drew and Fatu, so going one-on-one. And these are two big powerhouses. Really good match, unsanctioned match. I think this is the second or third, I believe, unsanctioned match at WrestleMania. The last one I seen was Seth Rollins and Triple H at, I think it was WrestleMania, it could have been 34, 35, something like that. Not 34, it was back in Orlando. That was the last time Seth Rollins and Triple H unsanctioned match. Like I said, I'm thinking about this. Who needs to win more? And been reported that, watching other podcasts and taking time to think. Of course, I'll root for Drew a little bit more because, like I said, he's one of my favorite wrestlers today. 4-time world champion. Like I said, Scottish psychopath, very fit, very physical athlete. But I think this could really help Jacob Fatu in the long run, getting the win. Like I said, maybe put him more in the main event type of role, like going for a world title. So I got Jacob Fatu picking up the win over Drew McIntyre. You know what I'm saying? Drew loses the match, he can take time off. I think he's supposed to film a movie soon. So I got, the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu picking up the win one-on-one in this unsanctioned match against Drew McIntyre. Now this next match, I look forward to. It's been a really good storyline. The Women's World Championship between the champion La Primera Stephanie Vaquer versus 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner Liv Morgan. I ain't gonna lie, this could definitely be a main event. If it wasn't for Cody, Randy, Roman, CM Punk being so high, like a caliber main event on paper, this could be a main event type of match. The way the storyline has been amazing. At first, like I said, I thought like, okay, could it be Liv and Raquel? Because I thought that was gonna happen, but Raquel and Stephanie ended up retaining against Raquel, Liv's teammate in the Judgment Day faction, and like I said, everything going on. Heck, them talking trash to each other. Stephanie talking trash in Spanish, and then Liv, like I said, this past Monday Night Raw dropped her music video called Trouble, and when she attacked Stephanie Vaquer, she had a T-shirt that says "I love trouble" on it. And like I said, and that not even the good part. I think about a week or two ago, backstage, like I said, Liv talking to Roxanne, trying to explain, to her like why they kicked Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day. And as she's talking, as Roxanne is about to respond back to Liv, Stephanie comes out of nowhere, pushes her right forehead to forehead, right into Roxanne Perez, and then grabbed her head and threw it right into the screen TV, cracking it. And she posted on social media with a real big, fat knot on her forehead, real big. And like I said, I was like, I like that. That right there, this feud between these two women going on, fight, the beef they got with each other. And like I said, I love it. Like I said, I think it really could go either way. And I had to really think, like, who do I think needs it more? Who, what I'm saying? Like, in a match like this, I mean, if Stephanie wins, like I said, it'll definitely impact her legacy. And, she's been a really good champion for the past about, I think 200 days. Yeah, she's been champion for 200 days now. But I could see either one of these women winning. Now, like I said, I was watching other podcast, and he was saying that it's possible that Judgment Day could get involved and maybe cost Liv the match getting involved, like maybe a Roxanne or Raquel. And I said one of three things could possibly happen. Either one, if they do get involved, they might, Roxanne or Raquel may turn on her, causing her the match, or they may try to help her and cost her the match, potentially maybe, or help her beat Stephanie. But I feel like, in my opinion, I think would it be a better storyline for after WrestleMania? Because like I said, WrestleMania is the Super Bowl, but like that Raw after WrestleMania is important. The following pay-per-views after WrestleMania are important, like at least the first couple. And I think they could really tell a really good story if Liv Morgan wins this match. Like, I think if she wins, you eventually maybe Raquel turns on her, Roxanne, eventually. So I think that could be a really good story. I got Liv Morgan winning this matchup against Stephanie Vaquer. Like I said, I think, Liv kind of deserves it. Maybe needs a little bit more, even though she's already a two-time world champion. Stephanie, and her young career on the main roster, has plenty of time to, continue to pick up major wins. She already did when she beat Io Sky at WrestlePalooza early last year. So she picked up some good wins. I got Liv Morgan winning the Women's World Championship. And now for the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania, for the undisputed WWE Championship, the grand prize of them all, the most prestigious prize in all of WWE, the WWE Championship, between the champion Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, versus the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer, Randy Orton. Now, Randy earned his shot in this match by winning the men's elimination chamber match about a month or two ago. In the exact same match Cody was in, like I said, Drew tried to get involved. As soon as Cody hit him with a crossroads, Randy didn't hesitate and hit him with an RKO. And like, I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Cody was gonna win that match, and then something was gonna happen to where maybe it'd be a fatal four-way, triple threat, something like that. But nope. Randy won. I was like, oh wow. I didn't see that coming. And then when Nick Aldis, SmackDown general manager, announced after the pay-per-view that on the pay-per-view that Drew would defend the WWE Championship against Cody due to the fact that Drew has interfered and cost Cody a chance at the title multiple times, the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. And like I said, Kobe and Randy both have history going back to 2009, 2010, when it was in a faction called Legacy. This is when, Cody was younger, and, Randy was I mean, Randy's still in his prime, but that was like peak '09 psychopath Randy going around. That he was kicking Vince McMahon, RKO and Stephanie, handcuffed Triple H, kissed Stephanie in front of him while he was handcuffed, couldn't do nothing about it. I ain't gonna lie, back then I really hated Randy Orton. I think mainly because of, John Cena was my guy, was my favorite, and I hated Randy Orton. Him and Edge, I'm just like, ooh, I can't stand Randy Orton. Now, as an adult, like I said, I do appreciate him more as a heel. And like I said, superstars like this, like Edge, I appreciate. Like maybe back then I didn't because John Cena and Undertaker, I'm like, ooh, I can't stand Randy Orton and Edge. So, but they have history. Last time them two fought at WrestleMania, it was in a triple threat match, including another former Legacy member, Ted DiBiase Jr., son of WWE Hall of Famer $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Now this is one-on-one. This is former student against master. Randy was like a older brother to Cody, a teacher. Because Cody was young, so he took him under his wing. And like I said, back then, you probably wouldn't have thought Cody would be WWE champion. He's really revised himself since he left the company years ago. Went to AEW, and then came back, and now he's a 3-time world champion. And looking at this, I try to think like, okay, who needs to win more? Who can I really see? Like, what's the benefits? And I'm not gonna lie, in my notes here, I picked Cody to win because I feel like, I think he can impact his legacy more. He needs it more. Randy's already established, even though I can see Randy at least winning 2 more world titles before he retires. I just think that, like, Cody needs it more. Like, this could be the because Cody's technically the face of WWE right now. Full-time superstar, because Roman's part-time. So full-time, Cody's like the guy right now. Since he beat John Cena at SummerSlam last year, that was like the official passing of the torch. Like, Cody's QB1, he's the guy, he's the face. Because John was, technically all my life pretty much was the face of WWE, literally. And I picked Cody, but I started thinking more and more like, because due to Pat McAfee being involved in this match, for those who know who Pat McAfee is, if you watch football, he's a former NFL punter. Very talented person, like I said, been involved in WWE commentary and wrestling. And he said in a promo about a few weeks ago on Friday Night SmackDown that if Randy doesn't beat Cody, he said to Cody's face that he will never come back to WWE again. Because before Pat got involved in this feud, he wasn't around. Because he even said on Twitter X, that the business doesn't need him. It's passed him by. And really, I like Pat McAfee as a color commentator. Him next to Michael Cole, and he would come, after college football season, become a color. By the time college football comes back around, then he's gone because he's working with ESPN and College Game Day. So I thought he was gonna come back, but he said he wasn't. And he says if Randy doesn't win, he's gone. So with that, I think I got Randy winning, and I think that if Pat McAfee gets involved, I could see him and Randy taking on Jelly Roll and Cody at Backlash. Backlash is the first pay-per-view right after WrestleMania. So I got Randy Orton winning his main event night 1 against Cody. Even though I'll be rooting for Cody, but we'll see. Now time for Sunday night 2. First match. This not gonna open the Sunday night, but the United States Championship between Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. Now this one, Sami and Trick definitely got history. The past couple months since Trick's been on the main roster, but I feel like Carmelo Hayes got done dirty. Like, so he did a really good job as champion, but I think WWE wants to potentially turn Sami heel and maybe turn Trick face potentially. So I think with that, making Sami Zayn champion and him losing the Trick, that's why I got Trick Williams winning, because I think he probably will turn face and then Sami probably going to turn heel with the result of this match. Next up, we got the Demon Finn Balor taking on Dominic Mysterio. This one is definitely underrated. Dominic, being the reason Finn Balor got kicked out of the Judgment Day. And then Finn Balor decided to bring back the Demon. We haven't seen Demon Finn Balor since WrestleMania 39. And that Hell in a Cell match against Edge back at WrestleMania 39. And like I said, obviously this one's easy to pick. I got the Demon Finn Balor winning. Like I said, it doesn't really take me much to think about that. And next we got the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. The champion Penta, Rusev, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, and Hall of Fame Rey Mysterio. Like I said, this one I don't really see Rusev winning. I don't see Dragon Lee, JD, and I don't think Rey Mysterio really needs it. Two names popped out to me, and that's Penta retaining or Javon Evans. And a match like this, anything can happen. And I think what WWE might try to do is the up-and-coming talent that's been on the ring roster, try to make them look good, and they definitely deserve it. So if Trick wins the United States Championship, I can see Javon Evans winning the Intercontinental Championship. And that's why I think I'm going with the Raw card, Javon Evans. I think either he wins or Penta retains. But I'm going Javon Evans for my pick. Now for the WWE Women's Championship between the champion Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. This one I'm going to be cheering for Jade Cargill, but I'm probably going to pick Rhea. Like I said, she's the top of the top face for the women's division right now. Very talented superstar. Arguably, like I said, the best men's or women's. She has the highest overall in the WWE 2K26 video game of active current superstars with a 96 overall. But I don't think Rhea needs to win. I think Jade mostly needs to win because her title reign really hasn't been, which is not her fault. It's WWE's, but I think she needs to win more, and I think it'll really help her legacy going forward in WWE if she gets this win. But I'm going Rhea Ripley, cause like I said, based off of what I've seen, I could possibly see Rhea finally getting the edge over Jade Cargill and getting the win. And next up, now this match will open Sunday, WrestleMania Sunday, which I definitely look forward to. Brock Lesnar, the Beast, versus the Ruler, Oba Femi. Two powerhouses, two heavyweights. And I'm thinking okay, are they gonna make Brock lose his matches? Brock really gonna lose? And it's been reported, obviously, this is gonna be his last year in WWE. He's gonna retire, I think, most likely at SummerSlam in his hometown in Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Excuse me. But it's been reported that Paul Heyman doesn't really want Brock to lose before then. So I'm gonna go Oba Femi. I can see Brock winning. It's just that the way he's been going, I think Oba has the momentum he has is just too great for making WWE to not pull the trigger and have Oba beat Brock and solidify himself as a world title main event talent already, even though he already is. But you want to solidify that. So, and now for the main event, the World Heavyweight Championship between the best in the world, CM Punk, versus the OTC, my tribal chief, your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Then this was very hard, extremely to pick. And I wrote down some notes who benefits more from this match. And starting with CM Punk, I think this will be the biggest win of his career. This will elevate his career as far as all-time status, even though he's already a 7-time world champion. He's a full-time champion at that. And this will truly make him the best in the world with this WrestleMania victory. For Roman, like I said, he's already the best of this generation. I think, in my opinion, he's already a top 5 all-time wrestler. Like I said, I'll say that for later episode down the road. Like I said, all-time great status. He'll be a potential WrestleMania legend because he already has broken Hulk Hogan's record for most main events all time. This will be his 11th WrestleMania main event. This will be another key win at WrestleMania. He has key wins over Edge and Daniel Bryan, Cody, The Undertaker. So he has a Triple H. So he has a lot of key wins. Now, as a loss for Roman, I don't think there's really no impact. If he loses, he's still gonna be an all-time great, potentially maybe the greatest of all time. Because John Cena even called Roman the greatest of all time. Now for CM Punk, this will be no key WrestleMania wins because he really doesn't have any besides beating Chris Jericho for WWE Championship at WrestleMania 28. Question, like, he's an underperformer at WrestleMania. He's old and potentially washed. Not saying like, maybe like he's like, because his prime, in my opinion, was 2012 CM Punk. So that you can ask that. And is he truly the best in the world? Because you can't. I feel like, can you really call yourself the best in the world if you're not beating the absolute best of this generation? Like I said, if he beats Roman Reigns, this would be the biggest win of his career. So, and then you could really say he's truly best in the world. And with that, even though, like I said, Roman's my favorite currently, I'm not gonna be rooting for him, but I gotta go with CM Punk. It hurts me to go against the Tribal Chief. I just think that, you know, CM Punk being full time, you know, the point of the World Heavyweight Championship is to have a champion that's there every single week, defend all around the world, live events, everything. So, I gotta go with CM Punk. Like I said, if Roman loses, I don't it's not really gonna hurt his legacy at all. If Punk loses, yeah, that right there can be a big impact for him. So that's my pick for WrestleMania Night 2 main event. Those are my predictions for WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. Like I say, Saturday and Sunday, 6 o'clock. For first hour is free on ESPN2. I'm definitely gonna be watching and tuning in. Definitely Saturday, and even when I'm at work, I'm still gonna be watching on Sunday night. So, but I definitely appreciate y'all tuning in for the episode of Cameron Sports Podcast. This has been your favorite host. Like I said, if you want to continue to touch down with Cam, click the like button, follow me on all social medias, turn on post notifications, and yeah, I'll catch y'all next time for another episode. Y'all take care.